In this video, I want to show you how to trade on leverage and more specifically how to short the market. And also towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you a setup which I believe is the simplest one for beginners and also actually the most effective when it comes to shorting the market. There are a lot of details about margin trading and we are not going to be able to cover everything. So my advice is to go and read the specifications for the exchange that you are going to use when it comes to what are the margin requirements, how much leverage you can use for every single trade, and all the important things that you need to understand before getting involved with margin trading. If you don't understand it, you should not start using it. And keep in mind that shorting is always leverage trading. So there are a lot of risks there. And I definitely recommend spending enough time learning before you even trigger your first trade. For this tutorial, we're going to use KuCoin as an example because I think it's a relatively good exchange for margin trading, but also is a little bit complex and there are a lot of details that you need to be aware of, and I want to walk you through them. So let's just start with the first one, and this is how you put some money into your margin account, because this is usually different. I think also Binance has pretty much the similar setup, but you have in KuCoin, you have your main account, you have your trading account, and then you have your margin account. And within your margin account, you also have a couple of other accounts. But the first thing that you need to do is to go on your exchange and transfer money into your trading and more specifically into your margin account. Here you are able to see that we have cross margin account and isolated margin account. You need to go and read in detail what are the differences between these two, but very simply put, if you put your money into your cross margin account, this means that the collateral that you have inside, the money or the coins that you have inside, you will be able to use them as a collateral for all the trades that you're taking on many different pairs. And if you use isolated margin, then you will be able to use it only for the pair that you are going to be using. And here you can see the list of isolated margin accounts that KuCoin supports. In this case, we're going to keep it simple and we're going to transfer the money to our cross margin account. I think this is pretty straightforward. You can do it on your own. I have already transferred some funds, and now we can go and click trade, and this will take me to the interface of KuCoin when it comes to trading. Here on the bottom right, you can see where you can execute your orders. But before we do this, here you can see that you have your different accounts, and here we have the spot one where we have zero balances currently, we have cross, and we have isolated where we have also zero accounts currently. So whenever you click here, this is the account that you're going to be trading in. And also in this case, if we're on cross trading, it doesn't always mean that you are going to be using leverage when you're trading. This is your decision, and I'm going to show you in just a bit what I mean. After you've done this and you know how to look around in your exchange, here on the top for KuCoin, you can choose your pair that you want to trade. So you might want a BTC pair, and here it's going to show you first all the pairs with BTC. And in this case, if you want to look into BTC USDT, here on the site it tells you how much margin you can use for this trade. And keep in mind that if you click this, it will open a window here for you. And if you're using cross margin on KuCoin, it will allow you only to go 5x. You can go higher on isolated margin, but even 5x, if you're a beginner, that's a relatively high amount of margin. I've seen people trading with 50 and 100x leverage, but that's of course quite risky, because keep in mind that margin pretty much multiplies the purchasing power that you have. So in this case, if you borrow with 5x and the price moves with 1% in any direction, this means that the money that you're going to be making or losing is actually 5%. So 5 times more than the movement in the price. So always keep this in mind and always make sure that you're aware of the risks when it comes to margin trading. So now let's look at the actual execution of the orders. And we're going to use near as an example because I think this one is relatively good to show you after that an actual trade setup for short. And if we go here on the site when you can execute the orders, you'll be able to see that in this case it's a limit order. You can also use a market or stop limit or stop market order. You should again do your own own research on which ones you're gonna use. But if we just use a simple limit order and the price that I'm ready to purchase some near is $3.2, let's say. And here you can write the amount of near that you want to purchase, but in this case let's use all the funds and let's click 100. So if we buy now, if we just click buy here, this is not a margin trade, although we are in our cross margin account. And how do I know this? Is because I haven't started borrowing money, and this is the key when it comes to margin trading. You obviously are borrowing money that you don't have in order to purchase more of the coin that you want. And you can do this in KuCoin with two ways. So first, here you have a borrow button, and here it tells you that right now you can borrow this amount of USDT, or if we click on near, because if you want to short you need to borrow near, you can use like 291 near to short the market. Right now I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna show you here. You have a button which says auto borrow, and if I click it and if I enable it, now I will be able to see, and here you, on the bottom you see that now we have 3x available and we have $1,440 to buy near with. And this is with 3x leverage, because here again a little window, but you need to know about this. If you click here, you choose the margin that you are going to be using, or the leverage. It's pretty much the same that you want to be using, and you can change this to 2, 3, 4 or 5x, and whatever you decide. It doesn't mean that you have to use the entirety of it. You can use 2x, and if I just click confirm here, and now you'll be able to see that you have more money in your account, which pretty much is not yours because you have to repay them at some point. But if I click here on a 100%, now you'll be able to see that we are able to purchase 750 near with the borrowed money that we have. Now if we execute this order, pretty much this will be a leverage trade. When it comes to selling, it's pretty much the same. This time you will be borrowing near, and again you need to put in the limit price in this case. And if we just click, let's say 50% from the money that we have, you'll see that since we have 5x leverage and we have the auto borrow options, from all the available funds that we have together with the borrowed one, 50% is 291 near. And if I just click sell, this means that I'm betting that the market will go down and I will make money only if the market continues going down. And now let's quickly look at the potential setup of near. This is the chart, and we're going to use just KuCoin as the platform also has trading view style graphs. And here you can see that the level around $3, we first of all have constantly lower highs, and we're kind of squeezing in this area for the past several weeks. And you can see that around $3 there is some support that price found here. There's also some reactions here back in August, September of last year. And let's say price starts breaking below this level, this could be the trigger for your short. And this breakdown setup works pretty much as a breakout setup, but just on the opposite side. So once the price starts triggering below $3 and you find some level, maybe you want to be a little bit more patient because there's some reactions around here, and you can start scaling in a little bit slower because again this is a leverage trade, you're shorting the market, it's a little bit riskier, and pretty much you again need to have your targets set. So in this case what I'm seeing is around $2, maybe the next level down. There are again some reactions according to this chart. Of course you need to jump into trading view and see the chart more in detail, and the next level down that I'm currently seeing here is around $1.5. And of course you can also pull some fib extensions level. So for example from this leg down to here and with this extension to the upside, there's some confluence around the $2 mark, but not great, and also maybe somewhere around 1.8. So not the perfect setup, just also because we don't have great risk to reward here. And if we measure it, let's say you want to trigger your orders around this level, to the first level here is around 22 25%, and to the next level is like 40-50%. But then to the upside, the pivot high where you can set the risk here, at least on the daily, is around 50%. So this is not a great risk to reward ratio. So you want to take into consideration that maybe for this setup we want to wait a little bit more and see if price bounces back from this level, validates this as a support level, and then establishes a lower high somewhere in the 3.3 area. And then from here you can use this as an anchor for your stop loss, and then you can trigger the trade if you decide that, again, this is a good risk to reward for your personal taste. This is just an introduction and there's a lot more to it. Of course, my suggestion is to just go and play with the charts, play with the execution of the orders, understand how margin works, and also create a dedicated account just for margin trading and put the funds in there, and actually even like 20 or 30% of all the funds that you want to dedicate for margin trading. This way you'll be protected if something happens and trades don't go in your favor or you get liquidated. You won't lose a lot of money, and this way you'll be able to practice and get better and understand better how you can take advantage of the market going down, or in general of margin trading with time. Maybe you decide to go down that road. That's everything for this video, and then if you have any questions, let me know.